us the cards. Should we jump right to the cards? Chat is
do it.
also saying Berlin is looking very happy right now.
I am. Let's see. We'll see what the cards say.
Let's go. Let's jump right to it. Here we go. We've got eyes, the new changes for eyes. There's a lot of new changes.
Yep.
Scar
So
is
Scar
exactly
got the
like
same
Blossom.
change as Blossom, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
much
So
better
I'm
than
seeing some
before.
damage at Gecko.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
it attacks itself, basically.
Всем привет,
Gecko is
ребята.
now different.
Here we
That's
go.
30 damage to itself. It heals other allied units for 15 HP and cleanses them one time. So it's the same idea as Gecko before, but instead of doing the 25 in the text, they put it up there as red text.
No, it's also you do less damage to yourself and you heal less. It was like 50, 25, and you know it's
Yeah.
30, 15.
Yeah, and
It's
if you have a
definitely
shield,
damage.
you can block the damage, right?
That's true.
So it's not direct damage, right?
Yeah, you can block it with shields, for example.
I think that is the big change. You are correct, Kami-sama, based on the way this has now been restructured, because that's damage. If you put shields first and do Gecko, then you hit the shield instead of hitting the Axie.
And
Quite cool.
it can be a zero cost Gecko mask.
Привет,
So
Мить, привет.
Yeah,
That's true.
also.
that's
Also.
pretty cool.
That's big.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big brain
как
idea
я
coming
стримлю.
right there from Meat Valley. You equip a Gecko mask on this, it counts as an attack, which means it can be equipped with a Gecko mask and used for taunt for a zero cost. Cool.
Before we jump into
О,
another card,
Гека
other
0
thing that I
стоит, и
want to
теперь не
mention
вечен,
before
да?
the cards are revealed,
Так,
that
сейчас
what's
скину.
interesting for me, the change in the rocket stand, and you can attack your own axis, and this attacks itself. So I don't know if Sky Mavis is putting like a new mechanic which allows you to attack your axis and gain some anything. I don't know, but it got my attention.
Ah, very smart, very smart. So
Всем привет,
your
ребят.
thinking is
Много ли
there
нас
could
сейчас
be
смотрит?
some
Много.
mechanics that
Оценить.
utilize attacking yourself, your
Yeah.
own
Всё,
axis.
всем человек,
that
всё, я
triggers
надеюсь,
something.
всё слышно,
Wow,
всё
it'd be
нормально.
interesting to watch that play out. Quite cool
Я-
indeed.
я
Topaz
здесь,
is
Мить,
still
я
here.
дома.
It looks that it's the same effect. Are there number changes at all? It doesn't look like it.
It's exactly the
I
same.
think we have
I
like
think.
pretty much the same on Topaz and
Yeah.
Tricky,
Так,
and like
стоп.
Scar is basically similar to what we saw on Blossom yesterday, right? So the only like bigger change is Gecko, right? Which we talked about.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Gecko overall seems better than
А, я
before.
понял, меня не видно. Хорошо,
Like,
сейчас,
you lose a
секундочку,
bit less
спасибо,
HP,
Мить. Не могу
shield
настроить
it and
почему-то.
so on.
Yeah, it's more flexible right now.
That is
Yeah,
true,
and
and that's what we like to
The
see. As well.
important part was the cleanse. So
Yeah.
It's still there. That's the
what is-
important one. All right,
I think,
everyone's.
My internet got so excited that I disconnected, but yeah.
Всё на месте.
These art cards are cool, keeping the ones the same, but we got to keep it moving, right? We got a lot of
Yeah.
changes to go. We have
Let's go.
A cards coming up next.
Так,
go
чё
to
у
the
нас
next.
тут?
We've got ears
Погона. О, таун
Let's
добавляют.
have a
Раньше
look.
такого не
Pogona
было.
Is new. Pogona is a totally different card now. It applies taunt to yourself and you gain a spike. Our first card.
Спайк,
with
напомните, что
spike
это? Я не
is
в
Yes,
right
курсе.
there. Wow.
Another
big.
taunt, another taunt. Think about it with Gecko Mask, it's quite big.
That
I like to
is-
see this because I thought in the game like the use of cactus and egg was like needed because taunt is so important, and to see cards with this effect you don't have to use the Gecko Mask. Now Gecko Mask is
Новая
short
механика.
turns, so
Сейчас
if you
надо
put Gecko
в
Mask
группу
in here,
зайти
maybe
посмотреть.
you get the 4 turns. It's really good, it's
Шипы.
flexible, I like it.
Nice. That is good to hear.
Сейчас
Anything
не
more for
успеваю
Pogona?
много
I
дел
think
сразу делать.
usually like when you have a taunt, it's good to have some kind of defensive mechanism. I mean, I know you have like egg bomb too, but the only advantage here is that you gain one spike. But I would probably still prefer like.
А,
if you have the choice to
возвращает,
play,
возвращает,
Wall
да,
Gecko.
и
I mean, depending on
генерирует.
what Wall Gecko is gonna do
Что он генерирует? Кровотечение, да?
That is
with the
true.
Gecko Mask.
But it's also the good
В командный
thing
чат
with the
зайди, там
PP changes,
дрон
you can play
скидывал.
Pogona on a lot of classes, right? So, for example, if you wanted to have another on card, like, I don't know, Little Branch, let's say, and...
Эти ребята
still want
побыстрее, да,
to
чем
taunt,
вчерашние?
you
С
can
этими
go play
попроще,
Pogona
надеюсь,
on ears
быстрее
and-
карты покажет.
Like before, you could only taunt on tail and on. No, you can at least taunt on tail, on, and ears. So it's much easier to fit into your team.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. That is quite smart indeed. Frizard is now heal 50 HP instead of randomly healing or attack boosting, and then target any ally. Apply
Вы
doubt
мне
to all
помогаете что с
enemies
картами
for
реп,
4
потому
turns.
что
What
с
do you guys
плентами
think
я
about
даже
this?
лучше знаком, чем с репами, потому что
I like
вообще
it.
не играю ими.
Yeah.
I don't know, with the changes on the
Ну да,
Blood Moon, I
даже
don't
по
know if it's
количеству зрителей
good
можно понять,
anymore.
что рептилии
Maybe it
более
was good
интересны
like last
нашим
patch.
игрокам.
Because if you apply doubt to your enemies and you heal yourself, I mean that's good, but now the healing is like not as important as it was before.
Ну а какая разница? А до этого
We need
сколько
to
было?
see more
Больше
cards.
20 ты
Yeah.
уже не
High
выживаешь,
feather
если
is
на
still
тебе
here,
ядовик 20
just
стаков
overall,
накинул.
like,
Это, наверное,
kind of
скорее
both
всего
the
противодействие
same thing,
плентам, мне
with
так
much better
кажется.
stats, so we'll have to see how much healing there is in the meta, and
Могу ошибаться,
if
конечно,
you
но мне
actually
кажется
want
так.
Freezon to do that job.
Makes sense.
But-
Makes a lot of sense.
It's always nice
like
to
the
have
poison
more
answer to
options.
healing.
Oh, go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
have more options for doubt now, so maybe we'll have like multiple cards that apply doubt, not only Dry Feather now.
Yeah.
But you
Makes
have
sense.
offensive and defensive cards that do that, and you can like choose whatever one you wanna play.
О, мы
in
хоть
your
увидим, как
team.
эти
You're not
чуваки
forced to
выглядят,
play
да? Ну, Берлин я
exactly
не
one
помню.
card
Да,
in
да,
one slot.
помню его, но он не так
Yeah,
высоко
Right,
в рейтинге
next
был. А
round
вот
one, so-
метавалу я его встречал часто в боях.
With
I
that
think when you play poison and you usually would play in your ear, you would normally play
Да,
small
могу,
throw, right?
конечно.
So you would maybe have one card as freezer in your deck just to
ДД это
apply
про
not
дамаг
doubt
что-то, да?
itself, but like just having the debuff on the opponent's team, just for any cleansers that might come in, just to protect your poison stacks.
Потом
That would be
поговорим.
it too.
Не пались.
That's true. That actually protects you from being cleansed away, basically. The doubt gets
Yeah.
cleansed.
We have somewhat of an answer to Silent Whisper in this case, if you set it up correctly as well. And yeah, like I was saying, the things like Tri-Feather with doubt effects, they would take a slot of like...
Вот интересно, погона таунт навешивает. Это неплохо. Ну, как полезное, мне
That
кажется,
is
добавление.
true.
Ну, я
That
так
is true
подумал, да,
indeed.
дает дамаг.
So
да,
far,
да,
so
да.
good. We've got eyes, we've got ears. Should we
You got
jump
another
to the
ears.
next slide and
Давай.
look at more ears? Here we go. We've got small frill. Target any ally. Apply 3 poison to all enemies. Still the same stats
Oh, so you
wise.
can
The
heal
only
anyone?
difference is it heals now from the top
Yes!
instead of being text.
Так и было, да,
it heals.
small
That
frill или
could be
нет?
something
Какие
to
изменения?
look at as well.
No, but you
And
can
then
target any
Stats.
ally as well, so we are able
Target
to
any
heal
ally.
anyone.
That's big.
М,
that is very
Ну,
big.
сайд
And swirl-
варп.
That's
Swirl is
Такое
new
себе,
as
редко
well.
его
Swirl
использовали.
used to be shuffling too confused into the opponent's discard
Oh
pile.
my god.
Now it shuffles it into the
Wow,
opponent's
Swirl is
draw pile.
insane.
That
Boy.
is new.
Что-то
We've
новое,
seen-
I think
да?
that's
We're
gonna
seeing
get
smiles.
patched,
Судя по их
right?
эмоциям.
Sorry,
Swile,
that's a
что-то
look
новое,
at this
да?
frill. Into the draw pile too, with the
Yeah.
heal.
That
Anyone.
is true.
It
That
seems
is-
like a Swirl plus Confused deck could be absolutely disgusting to play against.
A little bit get breeding, bro.
Блин, надо сейчас,
That's
ладно,
true,
на
that's
телефоне
true. And
зайду
then
на
sidebar
сайт Kingskid
is the
Info
same.
и буду смотреть старые карты, потому что
Random enemy
сложно
still, yeah.
сложно
Yeah.
оценивать.
This looks
Когда
like
не
big
знаком с
changes. What do you
игроками.
guys think about it? Let's start with meat value. What do you think about this?
But the small fair change, I love it.
Дамаг
because,
дилер.
like,
Ну да, я
it was
догадался,
really
да,
frustrating
дамаг.
when you play a card and you were like
Так,
losing,
карты.
like just
Рептилия.
because you draw like the backline swirl.
Хотя,
the backline small fair
Давайте
first, and
вспомним
then the
прошлую
front
версию
line
игры.
one.
Рептилия это всегда был
It's
интересный
nice
класс в плане
to be able
розыгрыша
to
карт.
always get the
Самые
value from the
интересные
field
в плане вот
The card is
обдумывания
balanced
позиций
around
все-таки
the
всегда были
effect and
рептилии.
the stats. Now you always get stats. That's great. Yeah, swirl. I'm scared. Yeah, I mean, we will have to see how many other cards can put confuses directly into the deck, because the thing is that when you are playing courses, you want
Small
all
frill.
of them to go to the same
Ой,
place.
Смайл
Right?
Фрил
Like,
такой же
you either
остался.
wanna flat
Swirl,
the discard pile or flat the
меньше
draw pile,
конфузи
not
добавляет,
half
да?
and half,
Подбросьте
because,
3 карты, здесь 2 карты.
you want to
Мгм,
basically
Ну,
maximize the
не знаю.
chances of the other person getting
Рот.
a bad down.
Ну да, рот,
down
все ждут
down
рот по
the
Катара,
side,
может быть,
right?
какие-то изменения.
But,
Тини Терли как
Of
будет
course,
работать.
if
Вот рот
all go to the
интересный, он,
deck,
по идее,
it's a lot
следующий
better
должен
than
быть.
all going to the discard pile, so we will see.
Диабло
We'll
3.
see what I'm scared
Nice,
about that.
nice. So there's a lot of potential
Нет.
with all of this shuffling into the draw
Yeah,
pile.
you can see an insane scenario where your deck is empty and the opponent has a lot of banish and so on, and he just plays 3 swirls every round, and you literally cannot draw a single card. It's impossible. So you
And the
just cannot
poison's
play
gonna
anymore.
Yeah.
Давайте, следующий класс.
Dark
Все это
Rays
фигня, уши фигня. Давайте, рот.
Just one confused and you kill them with 60 damage at a time.
Yeah.
Дань, надо было тебя
Chat is
пригласить
like
со мной
swirl
вместе
sales
стрим
going
провести.
burr.
Так как ты у нас эксперт по рептилиям. В принципе, наверное, каждый день так надо делать. Приглашать представителей класса.
For me, small frill, it was good before, it's better now, and swirl, and I think like the same of mid that you want to put all of the curses card in the same place. I think if you put them all in the discard pile, if you kill an Axie, you're going to have the revenge and the curses, and it's going to be frustrating. But you have to wait to the second rotation of the deck. You have to do a lot of more work. So
Умный
we have
парень
to see
вот этот
the other changes in order to
комиссами.
see swirl it's better now. The cards going into the draw pile. I mean.
Yeah. When I see your cards, like I always compare them with each other, just like they're competing with each other, like in the deck that I'm building. So small frill
Окей, у
doesn't
нас
compete with
16
swirl, doesn't
зрителей.
compete
Всем
with
привет,
sidebar.
ребят.
Like sidebar is still, in my opinion, trash. So it doesn't really matter. Small frill you play with obviously like a poison comp, and then swirl is a completely different deck. So you would play it with the curse card deck, and I think the curse card decks are going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And now you have to choose
I like
if
to
you want
agree
to play small frills. I mean, obviously, if you're playing poison, you are going to play a small frill. But swirl, not many people play it. So now you have to, you can play like a comp around it. You know, with three swirls and I don't know the other eyes, the plant eyes, confused.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Like a swirl.
We got a lot to get into, but
I think
Berlin, I agree with
that-
you.
that's-
Sidebar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last thing I wanna say is swirl. I think we're gonna see how strong it is once we see the change to Nemo and Cotton Tail.
Yeah.
That's
Because
true.
like the courses hurt the energy gain cards the most, so we are gonna see like putting them on the first rotation.
Давайте
If those cards
следующий.
are still super
Класс, вот
strong,
они.
Swirl will
Растягивает
be
болтологию.
stronger.
Even stronger. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well,
That is
next-
a lot of sense.
What's next, Reg? Tell me.
Let's go. Let's jump to the next slides and have a look. We've got mouth cards. These
What
are a
that
lot
mouth
of
do?
mouth cards. All right, so now we've got Toothless Bite, less damage by the looks of it, from 70 to
Yeah, but
65.
it's got a better effect.
По-моему, ничего не
Yeah,
изменилось, да?
target the closest or furthest enemy right now. So you can now choose to attack back or attack front. Or if there's one down.
Oh, Razorbite
whichever.
still heals.
Так,
They removed the heal
которая?
from Zigzag, but Razorbite still heals.
That's true.
Так,
Razorбite
Razorбite.
is the same, right? There's no change at
Ну, то же
all
самое, но
from
change, да.
Razorбite. Kotaro
That makes
has
sense.
А,
not
слип.
changed. It is now
О!
healing
Тинетерли
hits
теперь
the random
слип
enemy that
накидывает.
stays
Понятно,
the
понятно.
same. Gain one
Так,
energy
и
fragment
Toothless
per
Bite.
unique enemy
Атакует
hit.
самого
So it's not
дальнего.
that's
generating
enough.
energy back. Yeah.
А так,
That is
фрагмент.
And it
так,
also still
фрагмент,
gives you
фрагмент.
one energy fragment
Возвращаемся,
now if you
смотрим.
hit one enemy as well. That is,
Есть у нас
you know, the
что-то про
Kotaro
фрагмент.
feels bad turns. When
Так,
you just
ребята, что за
swing, you want to
фрагмент?
hit both,
Прошу
you hit
прощения,
one,
что я не
you
понял.
still get
Ну, в
something,
смысле,
you
вот эта
get
манна
half of the
энергетическая,
energy
да?
fragments, which is still okay.
Yeah.
And then Tiny Turtle, 60 damage if initial applies sleep for 4 turns to your target and to self. So that is
That's
another
jumpers.
change. Yeah.
Tiny Turtle seems really much worse, no? Because you're slept
Yeah.
for 4 turns, so if you
Well, you
can't
wake up the
cleanse
next
yourself,
time,
you're already in a lot of troubles.
Yeah, I think on the Time Turtle side, I
Mana.
think it's a good thing to change
Не
the
кольцо
whole jumping
фрагментов,
mechanic.
нет,
or
не
make
только
it,
фрагментов
sleep
и
and only,
целую
sleep
ману. Так,
changing to and
да,
not
наносит
being,
два
like, the
разных
entire,
генерирует один
like cards
энергетический
being
фрагмент.
disabled from the draw from
Ну
the
вот
Axie.
это внизу, да, всего
Because I
лишь
think
одна
if you play
прибавится.
against someone who does have a disabled team, it's
Несколько
just
фрагментов,
a little bit
целую ману.
ну
Ну ладно, посмотрим, как это будет работать. Ну,
probably nice
блин,
to play against a
Манна,
triple
стоит
Time
ли
Turtle
это
now.
того? Просто,
I
по-моему,
think
Катара
Kotaro
раньше
changed because now
прикольно работал.
is-
Я понимаю, что
it will
убрали
be
рандом
used for what
полностью.
it was designed.
Ну,
So killing
Катара
maybes
добавляла живости в игру.
and gain one fragment. I mean, it's a 60 damage card. You are going to get one fragment
О, здорово на месте.
for sure.
Ждал тебя
And if you
тоже.
get two, that's fine. But you always use this for killing like maybes, robins, things like that.
Вот, все,
like
понял теперь, как работает. Понял.
Kotaro team.
О,
from
да,
Naked
прикольно.
with
Ну,
different
единственное
Like
скажу
in
вам,
Naked
что
people use
это похоже
Carrot with
добавление
Kotaro
все равно,
eyes,
что использовать
just be able to spam
Катара,
every
ой,
card,
Катара,
get big
Катантейла
synergy with
Венима, и у тебя
Kotaro eyes,
прибавляется
but
этот
no, you can
фрагмент.
do that, and
Но
those cards are
просто хочу
just
сказать,
one
что
card,
одна
they're not
дополнительная
banished,
энергия, мне
and you
кажется,
can
это
just,
поэффективнее, чем
I
добавить
guess,
один
play an
фрагмент.
aggro deck with very fast energy
Или
burst,
даже два.
but it's
Makes
not as
sense.
oppressive, I guess, as the old Nemo and Carrot and such.
That's
It's
true.
like it used to be a tempo card, now it's a ramp up card, right? Like they are
Mm.
different things, but
Mhm.
I like
Makes
it.
sense.
I like the Kotaro. I think we are gonna see some decks that want to get to the first, maybe even to the second energy burst before the opponent and win like
Like-
that, like a value war, right?
Like triple
Yeah.
Kotaro, triple Carrot me.
Следующее.
I mean, I think
I
one
mean,
of the-
Про ту все, да, это...
We will see
карты
which
или
one
нет.
is better. Actually, Carrot will depend on like the amount of shields.
Ну
there
да,
are,
про ту это
right?
все. Дальше
Because
у
you
нас
actually want
врага,
to wreck
по
the
идее,
shield with
должно
Carrot,
быть.
and
Вот в врагах,
if they,
как бы, мне
if you
кажется,
have
должно
another
быть
60 amount
изменение.
card that you wanna play before Carrot, often
Ну,
you're
видите,
gonna
самое
play
главное,
Carrot.
мы уже понимаем,
There is
что
no
прям
other
супер
60
игра не
amount card you're gonna
меняется.
play,
Единственное,
it's
вот,
gonna be a good, because it only gives
можно
you
сказать,
one.
что слип
Kotaro is gonna be
очень
better.
сильно будет
And
менять
Tiger, I like
бой.
it.
Ну, прям так, что патчики
I
стали
like the
мусорными,
change. I like
такого я не
the
наблюдаю.
moving
Это
away from
действительно
stun,
важно.
going to sleep. I think sleep is a lot more healthy for the game than
Makes
stun.
sense. Makes
So
sense.
I love it. Yeah.
Yep, chat as well is mentioning Tiny Turtle as well because the teams right now
Видите,
that are
Тини
running
Терли
Tiny
также
Turtle are
работают,
running
накладывают
Gecko
слипы
Eyes,
на
which can
противника
be
и на
used to remove
себя.
the sleep.
Как
Probably
бы
that is-
все равно она
is
осталась такой
applied
противоречивой
to
картой.
yourself. So that
Кстати,
is
по новой
something your
механике
Axie can
слипа он
still move
снимается,
even
если
if
по
it's
врагу
asleep.
ударить.
So that
Ну
is
вот
something.
я
If
этого
it's
не
asleep,
понял,
I
мне
could use
кажется,
Gecko, the
нет.
same effects happen and I don't just waste the card.
Ронин ослабят.
I don't know.
Посмотрим.
Gecko is
К
gonna.
сожалению,
use it
биты
on another
очень не
Axie,
скоро.
or you can
По-моему,
use
одни
it on
самых
the Axie
последних.
that
Oh, but-
последние.
and remove the sleep as well.
The Gecko Tiny Turtle interaction is better now because before you had to draw Gecko on a different Axie. Now you either draw it on the same or a different one, you can still use the Gecko to remove it, right?
That's true.
Because you
That's
just
very true.
burn the Gecko, you don't get the effect,
Yeah.
but you remove the sleep and you can play an extra card.
Well,
That
we
is
got.
true.
I'm underwhelmed to be honest. I'll say it's. There's only a few changes. Yeah, but we got some more. To
But
go on.
I
This is
think
the
one
only
of the
amount
big
changes.
thing to keep in mind is it looks like the game is moving
Жизнь мне это
to
не
be
казалось,
much
да.
slower. Like
Бисты
Axie has more
последние, да?
HP.
Бисты
They kind
хвосты.
of tease that they're gonna rework Nemo and Cottontail. Like Carrot and Kotaro don't generate energy anymore.
Во-во-во, тут
So
про это
it
говорил,
looks
про Катара,
like-
про Нива,
Like
генерируют
those kind of
энергию,
ramp up
фрагменты.
cards like Kotaro and Carrot, like they wouldn't be super good in the current meta where games are over in like 3 or 4 rounds, but looks like in the next meta people are gonna play a bit slower on average. Even like
Yeah, I don't
the
think
full
I don't
attack.
think there's going to be cards with produces energy that produces energy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. So it seems like cards
Ну,
like Kotaro
получается,
might be,
как и в
like,
прошлой версии
very
игры. Нужно
interesting
потратить
next
одну
match.
энергию, одну карту,
Yeah.
и тогда
So,
слип снимается. Ну,
as you said, it's moving away from
по-честному,
tempo
наверное, так
games
более
and moving
логичнее,
towards
что ли,
control,
будет.
ramp, and
А то
some
иногда
aggro
слип
games as well, which is interesting to see.
максимально мог
Very
парализовать
cool
противника, вот
indeed.
когда в
We
соло
are
1-1
seeing, or at
играют.
least we are now
А
formulating
слипов
how the
стало
metagame
очень много.
could be in
Вот
the
у
future,
Плентов
even with
добавили
our second day
слипов
of
в большом
card
количестве,
release.
возможно,
A lot more
игры,
mid-range,
они
it looks
будут,
like.
и поэтому,
yeah.
да,
Got some
это
back
более
cards to
правильно,
show. I
мне
know there's
кажется.
important cards that are coming up here, so why don't we
А вы
get
как
on in
считаете,
those? I know you
ребят?
guys want to keep it.
Ну, опять же, я сейчас спрашиваю, как вы считаете,
got
ребята.
two
Обычно
slides in the
слипы
back
на рыбах,
cards.
на птицах только
Nice.
были, не так популярно было это в игре.
Let's go.
Так,
First, we've
идем
got
дальше.
Bone Sail. 70 shields, target any ally
Oh,
next turn.
так
If the
это чё у нас,
target
back?
receive a
Спина?
debuff,
Oh.
that debuff is applied to the applier instead.
Oh,
Hey,
God.
pretty cool.
Wait, what?
Next turn, if the target receive a debuff, that
Нацельтесь
debuff
на
is
любую
applied
цель,
to
следующий
the
ход
player instead.
цель
He said
получит
flip the
дебафы и
script.
бафы,
Okay.
примененные, что-то там дальше
I
на
like it.
английском
I
слова.
like it. My
Переводите,
eyes
пожалуйста.
immediately went all the way to the right though, but I'm gonna let you take it.
Okay, alright. Then we got
Так, 3
Tri-Spikes.
spikes, как... Так,
Randomly deal 3
green,
hits, deal 1
green,
bonus
green,
damage per
по-моему,
spike,
также
or
работает,
blood
да?
spike on this Axie.
Да.
So
Really
it scales
confusing.
up.
Только...
What goes on, mean?
Да, также.
Is it like the highest one or the lowest
3
one? Or
спайка
what if you
наносит
have
3
both of
удара
them? Does it
и
add
добавляет
them?
спайки и блуд спайки.
Based
Ну,
from the
нормально,
text,
логично.
it sounds like it's adding it up.
3
All
спайкс
the
прям
spikes and
сильно,
blood spikes on
сильно.
that Axie
Такая
gets
своего
added to the
рода
20
хорошая
damage
карта.
that then gets hit.
Бонни сейл
Use it
переведите,
3
ребят,
times.
пожалуйста.
So
That's
you
a lot
would
of
need,
damage.
you would
That's
only
a
need
lot of
5 spikes to do the same damage as before. Which,
Yeah, or-
considering if you get hit one time with a spike, you get 5 blue spikes instantly. So it seems pretty easy to get like some really decent damage in there.
That's true. Tri-Spikes
feel like-
is scary.
It's nice that it is randomly now, because before it was not randomly, right? It was just on one
Oh yeah, that's true.
opponent. And
Ну,
I feel
помимо
like that
разных
could
накладывать
work well
еще
with
этот блуд
Viper's
спайк, это
Venom,
очень хорошо.
to play some more poison. The only problem is like if you do that, you probably like want to play a poison team, and you probably would rather choose green orange, which is
Green
also
Thorns.
nice to have 20 heal on that.
Nice.
But yeah, I feel like Tri-Spikes looks pretty good.
I think
Last
it's a
season
pivotal card,
people
it
played
looks like.
AoE poison, so there might be different kinds of
Да, я
poison
детектив,
teams
я
that are more like aggressive
true.
or
But yeah.
This is what this
У
is
меня
something
тоже
that
3
I think
спайка
was
где-то есть
necessary
на
because
контакте.
poison was.
Ну, опять
we
же,
were
как
called-
с этим
we were called stupid
бичом
essentially
в
because it was extremely
прошлой
one-dimensional.
версии,
You
ну,
have
не прошлой
different,
версии, в прошлом
ways
стриме
to
Бич
play
прям так
poison
возбудил у
now.
всех
That's
сознание,
something
ну,
that I know a lot of
не
people
знаю, по
have been
факту не
talking
особо-то
about,
и
so-
круто. Ну, я имею в виду, что
I think
нужно
Tri-Spikes
в общем и целом иметь собранный состав, а не
Like
одну
you
целую
say,
выигрышную
Tri-Spike
карту.
sounds super strong. If
Слип
it's
снимается
easy
при
to
ударе
get
сейчас,
spikes,
также будет сниматься
like
только в новой версии,
Town
его еще
Child
можно
team
снять любой
that
картой.
gets spikes,
А,
then like get
Это
blood
плохо,
spikes, play time
потому
easy basically.
что
You could even combine
потому
both.
если бы он снимался
I'm a
только с
team
картой,
gun
было бы
team.
лучше.
Yeah.
Для тех,
We have
кто
to see the
есть.
other cards, but I think it sounds really good. But my
А то теперь
favorite
опять
one
получается нужно
here, I
ударить и
think
не
it's
бить
Bone
дальше.
Sale, because it
Не.
makes the game
Надо, чтобы
harder
он не
for the
снимался
opponent.
ударом.
You
Yeah.
have to think what is
A
what
bit of
is going
poker.
to play first. Yeah, the order of the cards is going to matter more now.
That's true. And it being a secret as well, if it's the same as before, then you apply the
You're not seeing
secret.
it.
You don't know what's being applied. You don't know
Yeah.
to who it's being
Yeah.
applied.
Oh,
You just know
really?
there's something there, which is
I
gonna
like
be a
that,
huge
so
mind
much.
game.
It matches the card up.
Слип
bro. Like, you
ослабили.
don't find it's a hidden
Да,
treasure
3
somewhere,
спайк
but it's
можно и
not a
наделать
treasure
теперь
for you when
АОЕ
you
с
attack.
новой руной за каждый удар 2 стака. А,
Treasure,
вот в чем
treasure.
смысл.
And then
Ну
we
да,
got
да,
Green Thorns,
получается
which
это
is essentially
АОЕ
the same
карта
as before,
стала
only
теперь.
difference
Под это уж
it
мультихит
had the
был,
small
правильно, если не
filler
ошибаюсь?
rework as well, where it now
Там не
heals
написали, что при
anyone
ударе
and
снимается, но
targets
механика в ней не было упоминания, что
So
любая
that's
атака по
great,
Аксу
and
снимает
actually
слип.
heals
Но
on the
если
top
вот все-таки
instead of
наместник
healing
прав,
from the text.
а не
This
Марс,
change would be
то
really like
так
Poison
лучше.
was already used to counter AoE in like high level games, and now you can specifically just heal one of your Axies the entire game and make sure it doesn't die. So it seems like Poison might be a bit better just from that change in some
Just
match.
a
Better
bit,
be.
Ella. That's all you got for us. Just a bit.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, hey, we might be onto something, but we do have another slide to go through. Do you guys want to say anything, any final words on the cards before we move?
I just think in general it's nice that Bone Sailor got a whole different mechanic to it because it was the same as Pumpkin before. So Pumpkin didn't get changed. So just a little bit more variety. It's positive overall.
That's true. That's a lot
Thank God
of
for Bone Sail, bro.
small things that actually don't hurt at all and help the game in general as a whole, which is great. All right.
So far, I don't think we have any identical cards anymore. It might be some in the future.
Just the
but-
mouth.
Пока у этого
and,
Аксика есть солнце,
razor
еще
blade.
раз когда он
No,
разыграет
no,
карту,
because
отмените
Zigzag
эту
got
карту,
changed.
затем
No,
ударите
Zigzag
солнце.
got
Oh, true, yes, yes.
What we have
That's actually
now
a good
is
point.
like same runes,
А, туда
like,
Марс
like a
прав.
twist for every class, like bubbles, feathers, and things like
Марс
that.
прав.
But runes that does the same, that I think it's better, more balanced.
That's true. If anything, it's only the eyes so far that have been the same. The scar, the blossom.
Oh yes, Scar and Blossom. are the
But those
same.
help,
Yes,
actually,
There are still
because-
some cards, but not as many as before.
That's true. And
Yeah.
those
But I
still
think
add
that's
variety.
healthy. But I think that's healthy because
Yeah,
it's balanced. That the classes can do the same when artifacts that you want to play in every deck, like
Yeah.
like a tutor with their eyes. Yeah.
You're right. You add consistency to all the teams, to all
Yeah.
the classes, which is
Yeah.
fair, and that's what you need sometimes as well, which is great. Really good.
Well, I think
Should we
this next slide is going to be big.
Boom! We've got back It's a lot of text.
Oh my.
Hold on.
Get your
Indian
glasses
Star.
out, mate.
Target any ally to limit 1 like before. Next turn, whenever
yeah.
hit by an
Чё,
opponent,
кап у
target
нас теперь,
reflects 50%
значит,
of the shield
копится
lost
Indian
from the same.
Star.
Whenever
Это как?
played, increase the reflect percentage by 15%. And it's capped at 100%.
It
Jesus.
looks
Full on
insanely
slap.
strong. Insanely strong.
You can just slap them back after a few Indian stars happen afterwards. Which
So
is
if you
wild.
choose to avoid the Indian Star, like it's building, it's eventually it's going to be detrimental. So what are we saying here? This is good for aggro counter.
That's true. That is true.
Короче, Indian
indeed.
Star по
That is a
15% будет
wild, wild thing.
оставаться. Ну,
Yeah, go ahead.
не
Go ahead.
знаю, так.
This is crazy.
We
We were at like,
insane.
remember, like we were at 50% before, then we changed it back to 40 because it
Red,
was so OP. Now we're back
yeah,
at 50,
расслабили,
and then
да,
on top of that,
получается.
we're now gaining
It gets
15% times play.
Но
Yes,
this
Use
is
this
insane.
это новое.
It looks like we
Ага.
can go up to
И крок остался.
150%.
Так, что по кроку?
That's
And what I'm
And you
thinking
also
here,
have
А, ну крок такой
You
же
have
what I'm
Spike
остался,
thinking here,
получается.
Berlin, it's maybe they change the other one, the scaly one, the one in the horn. I
Yeah.
forgot the name.
Yeah, but still, right?
Yeah, the scaly one. Yeah, I mean it's really strong.
Сделал
I
потише.
think it's actually stupid because right, like you said before, it was so strong and it still was good. And now it's like ridiculous, but maybe you don't have so many reflex in your deck because it has limit one. Maybe the scaly spoon change, so we have to wait and see that.
Well,
I think you don't need that many of these Indian Stars now, because like we're saying, with
Чересчур
Spike,
тихо.
you know, you're gonna have the assistant, so maybe even just one of these cards will be, you know, enough in a deck.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
That's very
for
true.
sure.
the,
That's
Who
the main
has this
thing
one?
is
They're
that
saying in the chat.
like
Go ahead.
non-win con healing should not exist anymore because of the Blood Moon change. So
Yeah.
like
So
if
it's
this is played in kind of a mid-range deck that also plays attacks like the reflect teams that used to play on season alpha.
Насчет
something
снять
like that.
слип и да, и
I think
нет.
it's
Ну,
okay.
слип
We will see.
по-другому
If
чуть
it's
теперь
strong, they
работает.
can
На него
nerf
ты
it
тратишь
better.
энергию и карты.
Also, like the cards with also the attacks getting better yesterday with the plants. Like
Мне это
the
больше
zigzag that
нравится,
was
работа
basically
с слипом.
like
По крайней мере,
great,
ну,
but with an
почему
extra
нравится?
effect.
Потому что мы сможем тогда
So,
увидеть слип на других.
I think it makes
Axie
sense for the
как вот
shields
в чем
to also
дело.
get a little bit better. And what I love about this is that there are some secrets that proc when you attack, and there are secrets that proc when you do different things.
Дань, ты еще
So
здесь
you
смотришь?
you
Как
actually
тебе?
like don't play
Изменения.
around everything.
Или хотя, ну, условно, тебе пофиг, тебе лишь бы АОЕ усилилось.
I like.
It buffed the secret.
I would expect Scary Spoon to not reflect anymore. Indian Star being the only reflect card now.
It would be weird to have both, right? In my opinion as well. I'm thinking like to have two of those cards.
I mean,
doing that type of-
we can see in like 5 minutes. I don't know what.
Yeah, hey, you are damn right.
Yeah.
Actually, the horns are literally right next. I've been
Oh.
looking. Croc seems the exact same.
No,
No,
Rapier
no,
and
Croc
Croc
Rapier
got
as
well.
changed pretty heavily.
Oh, it's
Nice.
target
Yeah.
any.
There's a lot of differences right now.
отлично.
Croc, aside
Both
from
of
targeting
them
any ally, the next time.
Ну да,
he
Indian Star, он,
uses a skill
как бы
or a
видите,
secret, not an attack move, so it
в
doesn't
правильном направлении они
what
идут. То есть
attack
полностью
Anyone who
нельзя
uses
сделать
a
так, что
skill
рефлекторы
anywhere
стали бешеными,
or
иначе их не
secret
пройти. Но в то
gets
же
nerfed.
время накапливать
Croc
щит
getting
по 15%, ну,
That is wild,
нормально,
yeah.
неплохо.
Croc is wild right now. That prevents skills and secrets being used anytime. You have to think about it now when your opponent has Crocs as well.
Yo,
So that is
reptiles,
something-
you better link up and theory craft. 'Cause this is
What,
looking
what I
kinda
wonder
crazy.
with card like Croc is like, what if I, for example, kills the front?
Возврат
without
последний
using
норм.
any
Но условно
secret,
при первом
and
атаке
the
защищается
front was
50
the one
противнику,
who
при
got
второй
shielded?
если щит, то
Does the
65,
secret
при третьем и так
disappear
далее.
because it
Ну,
was on
да.
this Axie, or is it just a general thing after it was played that if I use a skill after I will get bled? So it will be interesting to test.
Interesting.
It. Yeah.
Right. Based from mechanics, whenever we apply a shield, the Axie gets the secret, right? Like a question
Yeah.
mark on that.
Yeah, but
So
all of
maybe
those were triggered on attacks, right?
that's true. That's
And you
true.
had a
So
card like Turnip that just showed an effect on top of the
That's true.
screen and just
That's
applied
true.
next time someone summoned.
like a general shield on everyone, right? That triggers when an effect happens.
Yeah, because
right?
look at Radier, for example, because it's the best example, right? Radier just shields your team, so I assume you don't even target it. And then next time your opponent uses skip, you gain 2 energy fragments. So it's pretty interesting. It's like anti-AoE and ramp up / aggro at the same time, I guess.
But with these other good shields, it's like if you don't decide to attack, you're getting rewarded.
It seems like for Radier, for example, as long as you're playing the game, if the guy uses skip, you will gain the fragments, right? No matter which Axie dies, so it might be the same for Croc.
Radier is quite unique as well, because now it's looking at your opponent, not even looking at the Axie at all. If your opponent uses a keep, you gain 2 energy fragments. That's wild.
And both like Radier. I like it before, when you can play like for 80 shield and 40 shield, you have that flexibility. And now it's just like an anti-AoE. So, I mean, the mechanic is good, it's interesting at least, but I don't know, I like it before.
With the initial play around it. Yeah. If you know Ready has been played, like you can, there's still ways to play around it for sure, but it's a nice addition.
Also, one of the interesting things is like in the current patch, if you're going turn 2, you can get energy burst on round 3 as long as you get 5 additional fragments rather than just using your energy. So cards like this that give 2 or Carrot that give 3, if you use like 1 Ready or 1 Carrot that breaks shield, you can basically already have energy bonus on your round 4, so it can like go pretty fast.
That's true.
Oh, we have 1437 in the chat saying if Scaly Spoon reflects as well, he's out. So how about we go ahead and find out? Let's go to the first slide of the horns, please.
Пунка остался таким же. Скали Спирит такой же. Церастес такой же. Ну тут, в принципе, без изменений. Церастес 85 было, да?
Spear is interesting.
Into the discard pile. Spear, let's talk about Spear. Scaly Spear, 60 damage. This Axie gains 1 spike. Gain 1 bonus spike for each other Spear card in your deck.
Other spears?
Да,
It's like Bamboo Shot, but with spike.
Bamboo Spear.
Ну, Скали Спир, да, по-другому чуть работает.
Synergy and the Prehistoric Armor synergy and so on, it looks like... And also you have the taunt on ears, right? So you can play triple spear and still have taunts on Pogona. So it seems like Reptile Spike build is kind of looking a bit similar to Leafy, but could be very strong, a bit more defensive, I guess.
And they explode.
Yeah.
Cerastes is the same. So the main change, right? Cerastes is the same. Target any ally next time. Yeah, looks the same.
Yep.
By text, so it's only Scaly Spear that has changed on these horns.
Oh,
so far.
If you're going for like a spike and blood spike kind of comp, then you can also use like energy drink to get some additional 2 blood spikes on there and really go for the reflectile. And once your Axie dies, you do some additional damage. So it could be pretty strong if you synergize it with each other.
Facts. That's true. There's a lot of options here, but I think this next slide is the most important one, and I'm ready. I'm sorry. These cards cool. It's nice. Scaly Spear decent, but let's go, mate. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We've got Scaly Spear.
Oh, hey, 1437, don't you go anywhere. You better sit here to the end. Let's see. Scaly Spear.
Target any ally. Next turn, if the target's shield is broken by an opponent, dispel the attacker 2 times.
That's scary for rage teams. Very scary.
Да.
Oops. No more rage tackle for you.
Wow.
Фрагменты, вот видите, они как-то пытаются переложить игру на фрагменты, усилить влияние фрагментов. Ну, посмотрим, как это будет реализовано.
Wow.
That is big. There's a lot more interaction right now with the secrets in the opposing turns as well. Like we saw yesterday with the sleep, when you attack, potato triggers, you get slept on the turn you're attacking, while this one you get dispelled.
Ну теперь шипы будут.
So there's a lot more off interaction, which is really cool to see. Like on your off turn, there's interaction, which is cool. Incisor, totally different. Gain 2 spikes. Used to be bleeding before. Now it has been separated. Now you gain spikes. 2 spikes.
So it's kind of like
a что такое dispel?
Scaly Spear if you have 3, but it's better if you have 2 or less.
It gives you options, right? Like you don't have to go all in spikes to play it.
That's true. That's very true. That gives you a lot of room, basically, to play around with spikes if you want a bit of spikes.
Ну шипы это, знаете, что я понял? Шипы это типа аналог бомб у этих рыб, да?
Bumpy for the rest of the battle whenever you play a card. Gain 7 shield, cannot stacks is the same by the looks of it. No changes whatsoever. What do you guys think about these horns in general?
Сказали, с Плентом, если будут бить, будут ярость с них спадать.
It got changed.
Полностью?
I like the dispel thing. I think it's good. It's flexible. It gives you options, and it's going to be scary for other things like bubbles, feathers. Because we now have like bubbles, feathers, rage, and we have cocoons as well. So yeah, it's really good.
I agree.
Nice.
It seems like one thing that's like a bit of a common thing is that most damage cards do less damage than before, but most shields still do as much shield or even better than before. So we might either see more teams with mixed shield and damage or a lot of shields only. But
yeah.
Do you think that they do less damage? I don't think so. No? It's like the same, C plus an effect.
Yeah, but for example, no, there's a lot of 60 damage cards, right?
Так у нас остались еще какие-нибудь части тела?
But the cards that do damage, like Sirius, got straight up nerfed and
now...
so.
Yeah, Sirius got nerfed, but like I said, Silent was
хвосты
like
еще
late,
остались.
but
По хвостам много
And
сильных
then
карт.
cards like
And now it's easier to
рептилий
put
вообще хвосты
more
бешеные.
charms. I mean, better charms to your Axie as well.
Так, 2 дисп.
That's true. That's true. So
Это
there's an
2 раза,
argument right
один
now
раз это 3
between
стака. То есть
whether
минус
or
6
not we're
ярости.
going defensive in
Блин,
the
6
fights
ярости
or more
много.
offensive.
But I
there's
think
some cards that people want.
In general, if you play a shield and your opponent attacks you, you should win that trade, right? Like, it should be more efficient to defend than to attack because they can backdoor you, they can keep cards, they can skip, like they can play like 2 shields and keep their cards and you lose the value. So you should get better value when they are attacking into your shield.
Yeah,
makes sense.
If not, we will only play attacks again.
That's true. That's true. So the argument is we want defensive cards, but we will also want them a bit better than offensive cards, so that you're incentivized to play these defensive cards.
Yeah, but not too much better that you almost only play defensive cards.
Yeah.
You
like,
have to find
that, right? Yeah,
true.
you have to find the balance. Yeah.
That's true. It could also open up to bruiser comps, like for example, Sopagona attacks 60 damage, gives you taunt, and then you shield that Axie up. Things like that.
We're going to see a lot more mid-range in the meta, I think.
Yeah, if you just look at pure reptile, it seems like a triple scaly spear, triple tri-spikes with like Pogona, for example. Seems like an obvious build that comes to mind, right? That we just straight up seem pretty high value.
Скучно с ними.
So it seems like those kind of builds that are a bit more mid-range might be more meta now.
That is true. You are right. It is good so far. Chat's having fun as well. Everyone is enjoying what we are seeing right now. Should we jump to the next slide?
Yeah, well, we've got the old tails coming up.
Here we go. Gecko, Iguana, and Dino. Interesting. So, Gecko. This Axie attacks itself, so you swing at yourself for 30 damage. You apply taunt for 2 turns. Which is the same.
Гекко по-другому, да, теперь работает вообще.
But now it also does the taunt itself. You don't even need Gecko.
Yeah.
That is big. And then when your next turn starts, this Axie is healed for 50%
Ну, Игуана
of
такая
HP lost.
Почти бесполезная карта, она только против
So as long as you survive, you basically
Tino Dino осталось такой же, правильно?
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, it's a long way to the same bus stop.
Well, no, it's not the same as Ama's reaction, because Ama's reaction...
Здорово, Андрюха, привет, привет.
Yeah.
That's true.
Да, я не в платье, не извините.
Yeah, also you can
Так, это если под яростью ударишь, ты потеряешь ярость. А, не, ну тогда не страшно. Так, ложку поменял, теперь действительно накладывает на будущего, сейчас рефлект дает. Гекко писец, антихил напрашивается. Так, давайте помыслим, как Гекко работает.
Maybe you can like trigger a spike, you get you deal 5 damage serve yourself, but you get more blood spikes.
Что-то сложно. Получается, когда начинается новый ход, этот Axie хилит на 50%, равное хп, потраченное в прошлом ходе. Что-то сложно.
That's a lot of heal blocks. That's like an overpowered Scarab like right now. Scarab does target, but Iguana applies heal block for 4 turns. This essentially removes whatever heal an opponent tries to do on that Axie for 4 turns. So 2 of your opponent's turns. That's big.
What I think here is that
oh, go ahead.
It's strong. I mean, it's a strong card, but I don't think we are going to see.
Бьет тебя на 30, вешает на себя таунт, и на следующий твой ход хилит 50% урона, который получил. Какая-то сложная херня, но это мощно. Это очень мощно. Очень мощно. Но она и до этого эта карта противная была в ЛГК. Хрен ты пробьешь какого-нибудь хиллера, на котором стоит в ЛГК, а сейчас так тем более. Ну я понял, если выжила, короче, было у тебя 400 хп, с тебя сняли 200 и 100 вернется. Ну да, вообще, ультимативная такая штука, просто ультиматум. Ну, не позволяет пробить тебя. Ну, к примеру, рыба какая-нибудь будет атаковать, да? А толку от этого, если половинки вернешь? Не знаю насчет адекватности, надо проверить, как это работает. Ну, все равно, как бы смысл у этой карты такой же и остался, что благодаря этой карте ты можешь забрать повышенный дамаг и остаться в живых. Но, наверное, вы имеете в виду, что... короче, если мы его пробиваем, к примеру, с 4 карт, да, там та же рыба, то... Это более честно. А, все, понял, о чем ты. Макс, понял. Мех с гекой и батарейкой. Хитрый ход, да, Миш. Но у батарейки же там антихил появляется, если доходит до этого момента.
Gila does 80 damage. Gila's hit, bro. You just robbed me. Now, gas, but whatever, okay. It's still the same, right? It's the exact same.
Так, Гила такая же осталась, да?
So, let's go. Grass Snake. Target any enemy. It's a limit 1. Increase the number of poison stacks on the target by 50%. That is a totally different effect right there. You can go, oh, you got 20, here's 10 more.
Че они там муфают, а?
Thank you!
Так, Snake Jar, что-то новое. Что-то новое.
Сейчас. Do you know how long I sat there and said,
ох, как мне нравился Snake Jar в старой версии игры.
Not be a poison card in Origins. Just thank you, that's all I'm gonna say.
Так, Snake Jar хилит.
Right, can we just talk about the stacks from the beginning?
А,
I feel like it doesn't matter that we have 40 stacks. Yeah. Like with shifting towards the mid game, and then also having, you know, 40 stacks, and then Grass Snake, and then Gila.
Ну, улучшили рептилий в плане интересности игры. Мне нравится, очень нравится. Прям можно собирать рептилий. О, Grass Snake поменял, да, свою задачу? Вот этот хекс вообще дерьмо полное было. Ну, именно для этой карты. Да, теперь наконец-то можно его юзать.
It deals 100 damage. It pops and deals 100 damage
to all enemies. That's gonna blow up. Now this is making me think of blood spikes as well. Like, this is a lot of spread damage to all enemies that you can potentially set up here. This is crazy.
I mean, Snake Jar also just wins you Blood Moon straight up, right? You could just retain it. And then 6 turns before the enemy has 100 HP, boom, you pop the Snake Jar, and if you survive, the game is over. You don't care about anything as long as you're alive.
Грейс у меня, кстати, есть на каком-то Axie. Snake Jar 150 урона по всем. Блин, ну это херово.
I love the design of Snake Jar. Super cool.
Ну вообще, вот все эти 3 карты стали прикольные. Ну и Гила и была прикольная, очень противная, мощная карта. Ну вот хвосты, как я предвещал, самое интересное. Нацелившись на любого врага, увеличится количество стеков яда на цели на 50%. Ну понятно, если у тебя яда было, к примеру, 10, то после удара станет 15 на противнике. Да, мощно, мощно. Ты как бы и бьешь, и яд накидываешь.
I think it's going to
Вот,
be
в принципе, все вот эти карты, 3, можно обозначить как карты, которые добивают противника. Ну, мое такое мнение.
I think it was. Yeah, I think the card is going to be really fun to play.
Totally
Awesome.
different games.
Because
by the looks of
one
it.
mana heal 60 is not super bad, right? Like, so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I think
that's
what
true.
you were saying, Berlin, about the frontliner, you know, being able to take damage early in the game, less than 200 damage is quite, like, you have to take quite a beating to get below that, right? Because now we have higher HP. But that is to me, is like one of the best ways that I can think of using it.
Можно один только хвост, ну да. Ну причем, видите, какая интересность. По факту, это только рептилийские хвосты. Не навесишь ты на другие классы аксиков.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And we need to see if it checks before or after
Before the heal. Yeah.
Единственное, я не понял, Снейк Джар,
I think it checks
что так
before
мощно,
the
почему
heal.
по 100 дамага?
By the text of the card.
Yeah. If it's I'm not sure actually. That is
Не
something
надоело
to
еще в
inquire
эту
about.
помойку играть?
I'm sure
Почему это
Hale is gonna
помойка?
post it tomorrow.
I mean,
Нет, не надоело. Почему помойка?
Yeah,
Игра
that's
очень
true, that's true.
интересная.
What do you think? What's better in terms of the poison tail, Grass Snake or Gila right now, based from this text?
I mean, grass.
Bro, you bring both.
Ну, в
yeah,
принципе,
you have to play
I-
both.
Grass Snake
любая
does
из этих
the
карт
same damage of
по-своему
that Gila
хороша
does to only one Axie,
для рептилии с ядом.
kind of, right? But it
That's
also stacks more poison, so it's better earlier. I don't know which one we are gonna see, but
Both.
Both. Yeah, I think both.
I mean, look, like if you are already at 10 stacks and you just attack, like this is already 15 stacks of poison with 1 energy. Just like 50% is
No, it's 5.
It
It's
increased
5,
by
yeah.
50%, so it would go from
Yeah,
10
it's
to
5.
50.
No, I mean like on 3 axes, right? Or is it only on that target?
No,
Oh,
it's
it's only on the
only on
target.
Target.
My bad,
Target.
my bad.
Не,
Yeah,
Олег,
everyone-
I wanted to
другой
do
дизайн.
all of them. I misread.
Poison.
I misread. Okay.
Yeah, the only other
I'll tell
thing
you
is
what,
also
Gila didn't change, but the changes around it make me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it makes it better.
Yeah. I think we lost you there, Gila. But I think
It's just in the place. Yeah.
Where are you, my bro? But I think we all know his message. Gila stayed the same, but the cards around Gila deal make it much better. I think that is what his message was before he was taken.
Somebody wants me out
I
here.
mean, Gila can do more damage now because you can get to 40 stacks.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
true.
there's a big thing I think is that we're seeing like maybe a bit longer games, maybe a bit more shields being played, and like poison is a direct counter to shields, right? The main problem is there's still Silence Whisper in the game, like cleanses and stuff. That can
Первый с
counter it,
антихилом,
but it seems really
второй с
interesting,
Грейснейк, третий с
although,
Гилой.
like,
Ну да,
poison
Гила
is
все равно
might be
последняя должна стоять.
stronger than before.
Снейк можно на любой класс, на
You are
Плентов
very
тех же
right.
пойдет.
There's still a
Ну,
lot more to think about. This
Не
is
знаю.
day 2 of our reveals. These are all of the reptile cards, the new mechanics. What do you guys think about it in general? Let's go one by one. Let's start with Berlin.
это все же у нас, да?
Overall changes?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about all the reptile changes. I think there's a lot of different opportunities here. Poison definitely got buffed in some way or the other. I think I love the different changes that also affect the gameplay of the opponent in terms of playing a secret or playing a shield. That's super exciting. I think the reflect is a little bit too strong. Not just a little bit. It's gonna be like way too strong. Highlight of the whole thing is probably Snake Jar, just as an overall
Эти ребята
effect,
хоть
like,
побыстрее, мы за один
that
час
probably
справились,
creates
даже
some
меньше.
really like intense gameplay where you're like, if you're the opponent, you're trying to like kill the Axie with Snake Jar, and it's like otherwise you get 300 damage. Like that's that's a lot.
Ну ты
So,
попробуй еще
yeah,
6
so
раундов
I'm
выживи.
excited.
Это очень много.
That is true. That is good.
Очень
to
много.
hear. Elazou?
Ну да, такой
Yeah,
ультиматум
overall, it
ставится.
seems
Либо
pretty
ты мне
exciting.
выносишь
It's similar
до
to Berlin, like, the
12-го
Indian
хода,
star seems like it's
либо
really
я
gonna
вынесу
get a
тебя.
nerf. Seems a bit too strong for now, but we'd have to see. Poison seems really interesting. There's like quite a few things in those cards revealed that are like pretty skill based. like those secrets that are a bit more complex, being able to aim a lot of like healing and shielding cards that you couldn't before, so you have a bit more decision making to do. Some pretty cool cards like Grass Snake seems a lot more interesting now. Snake Jar is like very unique as a concept. I don't think we had any card quite like that, like set up for 6 turns ahead of time and potentially wins the game if you manage to do something. So overall, looks pretty cool. I'm excited. We'll have to see for the shields and so on, but looks interesting for sure.
Good to hear.
So,
I like the changes. I think the changes did make a lot
Что,
of
ребята,
sense.
все, да? Посмотрели?
I
Больше у нас
think
ничего
we're
нет.
going to see different play styles, which I love, different comps. The meta is going to change a lot, of course, obviously. You have to wait and see the other cards. But I think what they did with these changes, like bringing cards that wasn't played in any deck, that I like that. I think my favorite card so far is Snake Jar. I don't think it's the
Ладно,
strongest
ребят,
of them
давайте
all, but
прощаться.
I think it's the
Рептилии стали интереснее.
the funniest,
Посмотрим,
I
как
think.
это будет на
I
практике.
think it will be really fun to play with that, and yeah, I think that the changes did make a lot of sense. That's what I like.
Nice.
В смысле?
Good to hear.
6 раундов это 3 хода. 6 раундов
I
это
like it
12
overall.
ходов
I think
в сумме.
yeah, finally the bamboo cards are playable. I think almost every card can be played of the ones that we saw today. Wall Gecko will depend on the amount of burst there is. Maybe it's
Ладно,
actually
ребят,
good,
всем пока.
some kind of meta of mid-range teams facing each other. If no one can burst you when you play it, maybe Seoul card. I don't think it will be, but we will see. But every
Не,
other
подожди,
card
наместник,
from the Superstar,
раунд и ход. Короче, в одном раунде 2 хода. Твой ход и ход противника. Вроде бы так.